Hey, Jamsters, what's going on? Thanks for pressing play. Thanks for spending a little time with the Suns Jam Session podcast, brought to you by the BLEAV Podcast Network and sponsored by FanDuel, where if you had bet on Devin Booker hitting 2 threes tonight, you'd be sadly disappointed. But if you bet on Ivica Zubac getting 10 rebounds, yay, you'd win. You'd be happy. But if you parlayed them together, you'd be disappointed. But you know what? There's a lot of things to be excited about because the Phoenix Suns, on the second consecutive game against the Clippers, 2 and 3 nights, they beat them again almost by the same score. They beat them at the friendly confines of the morgue on Thursday night, 115-102. This one's 114-103. So instead of winning by 11, I think they won by 11, or math. I don't know. But make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you hit that thumbs up and down below. Support the Suns Jam Session, man. We're here every night, even on these late ones, these super late ones that start at 8:30 Arizona time. So plenty to talk about in this Suns victory over the Los Angeles Clippers. Let's play the drop music.
Session podcast, shooting the shit about the Suns since 2019.
Matthew, what is going on?
Cheers.
Cracking a beer. I'm impressed. I
Thank
still
you.
Can't crack a beer after a week ago drinking beer and whiskey and champagne. I haven't touched alcohol since.
Yeah, I know. Tonight I was like, I'm going to have one beer. And then now I'm 3 beers deep. But ever since then I was like, I'm going to throw these beers away. But I'm glad I kept them, because it was a fun night tonight. I feel like watching the Phoenix Suns with a couple cold brewskis.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I was sitting there, and this is one of those nice nights where it's like, I'm not covering the game for brightsideofthesun.com, neither are you. So, yeah, you can sit back, enjoy a couple ice-cold, teeth-cracking cold brewskis, and enjoy the game. And it was an enjoyable game that we witnessed as the Phoenix Suns win 114-103. So much to talk about in this game. I don't know where to start, man. So I'll ask you a question.
Matthew, I've got to ask.
Matthew, I got to ask, where the fuck should we start with this game?
Oh, man, it's everywhere.
So much to talk about.
Well, usually we start out with the good. I was thinking about the bad. Obviously, the one thing that we didn't want to happen happened tonight with Jalen Green.
Should we start with the burn book?
Yes.
Okay, this goes right in the burn book.
The Suns Jam Session burn book. The Suns Jam Session burn book.
Wow, that's good, man.
Whoa, new drops here. Creepy as hell. Was that Devin Booker or Tyrese Halliburton?
I don't know. It's a knockoff. I don't know.
But things that go into our burn book, obviously the unfortunate news that Jalen Green gets hurt, re-aggravates his hamstring injury. So, I mean, he just got a new drop. We've yet to play it on the podcast, and we probably won't play it again for quite some time. But ladies and Jamsters, the debut and the last time you're going to see it, probably a while, the Jalen Green drop.
Jalen Green. Green, 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 green. Green, 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 green. Green, green, green.
Yeah, Jalen Green, 6 minutes and 48 seconds played in this game. At the end of the first quarter, Jordan Knott subs him back in for like the last minute because there was an opportunity to score some offense. He goes right with James Harden on him, kind of explosively, dishes the ball out to Ryan Dunn, who bricks a corner three, and comes up really lame on that hamstring. It looked like he was in pain. He was helped off the court. What were you thinking when that happened, and what are your thoughts on the injury, Matthew?
Oh, I was absolutely depressed. It took like a tough, gritty, like third quarter for me to get back into it with the Phoenix Suns getting to the free throw line, just playing good ball. It took a while. I just was like, I kind of want to turn this off. I was really depressed. And this morning I was driving to get a coffee and I was thinking about the Kevin Durant ankle turn and pregame warm-ups before he came back. And I'm like, why do I keep thinking about this? What's going on? Because this season's going great, right? We've been winning games without Jalen Green, without Dillon Brooks. And Jalen Green's back. Dillon Brooks is coming back tonight. And this happened. I'm like, well, is it my fault? Because I keep thinking of this shit. But we are cursed because it goes all around. We just know this as Suns fans. We're cursed. We can't have anything, especially a guy that's been healthy for 2 seasons straight. Comes here very emotional in his debut 2 games ago, or a game ago, 2 days ago,
Yeah.
and was excited to get back. Didn't even sleep. And then I'm like, well, is it because he didn't sleep that he got re-injured? Because sleep is very important. No, it's disappointing. But the Suns team's still great to watch. I feel bad for the dude because he wants to prove himself so badly, but maybe he's gonna be gone another 3 weeks. I'm
Oh
assuming.
man, 3 weeks is I think is on the optimistic side. In my opinion, this is a 4 to 6 week injury. This is a 6 to 8 week injury. Like, we might not see him till January, and I would not doubt that because as Suns fans, we've experienced this with like Devin Booker in the past, right? It was a couple Christmases ago. You might not remember because it seems so long ago, but Devin Booker was out for quite a few games with a hamstring injury. He came back for Christmas Day. He played. He looked decent, but then what happens? He injured himself again, and he was out for quite a long time after that. I think Christmas to February timeframe.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's unfortunate for Jalen Green for all the reasons that you mentioned because he was excited to play with this team. You can see that this team is fun, and it's one thing if you're like Bradley Beal last year and you're injured, but you see the team is miserable on the court. Like, you're in no rush to get out there and want to play. You have no added incentive to be a part of the party that's happening each night. But for Jalen Green, he wanted to be a part of the party. And on Thursday night, he led the party. He was the MC. He was the DJ. He was scratching records up there, showing everybody what he could do. Comes out tonight, was looking good to begin. I mean, he had this one amazing play where he hit like an 18-footer right before the shot clock expired, and it showed you like, oh man, yeah, we have another guy who can hit big shots as the shot clock is winding down. And then to see the injury, to see the manner in which it occurred, and just the look of pain on his face and disappointment. Again, it's unfortunate. The one thing I'll tell Suns fans, it's early in the season, which is still a good thing. So there's still plenty of opportunity for him to catch a runway and to continue forward once he gets back and gets healthy. And on the other side of that, like, this team is competitive and they're playing well. And I'll talk about that a little bit on kind of things that are part of the bright side, but their resiliency tonight was absolutely fantastic. But it is disappointing to experience that. All of Suns Nation had the same reaction. Why can't we have nice things? This sucks. This sucks for Green. This sucks for the team. We're looking forward to seeing who and what he is. And then this is the result. So, you pack up the drop and you play it in like 3 months when we finally see him again. I just made the pick.
It's one of those things where I feel worse for the guy than the team. Like, before, it was like when Kevin Durant was going to play, it was like, I want to see what this team looks like with him. Like, we saw what Jalen Green looks like with the team. It was explosive. It was nice. Some guy that's athletic. We definitely need that guy finishing around the rim. And he looks like he's improved on his shot, even coming out tonight. Like, he hit his first jumper. It looked really nice and sweet. Looked like a Booker jumper, the fadeaway mid-range. And it was double teamed. It was maybe like, hey, maybe it's not a good look, or maybe it's not a good look from the field, but it's something that maybe he's working on. So let's just kind of accept that. And then after that, he gets hurt. And I just feel bad because I know he's just probably upset. And I think he wants to make this work with the Phoenix Suns and make the playoffs, make the play-in, because right now we're a 500 team. And the schedule coming up, too, we have 4 games against like the Mavericks, the Pelicans next. Like, it's going to be one of those things where we can maybe be 9-5, 10-5, or even like 10-6 or something coming up. So there's a lot of potential right now to kind of make our mark in the standings. And I'm sure he wants to be part of it. And I feel bad for the guy.
Yeah. So, Suns fans, again, I feel you. I was disappointed. I ran right into my office and I typed up something for Brightside talking about the injury, just real quick to put it out there. And I was just like, man, this is just typical Suns stuff. A couple other things that I'm going to write down in my burn book for this game. And there's plenty to talk about on the bright side. So we will be coming to that. I kind of like that we're starting with the bad stuff first, because there was some bad stuff in this game. One thing that just kind of annoyed me just a little bit, just enough.
Dillon, the villain.
So this is a close game, and there are some things that Dillon Brooks, I feel, did well in this game, right? I mean, he's attacking the Clippers in all kinds of ways. He's trying to draw fouls on them early, but he was too focused on trying to create contact and jumpers, right? Instead of just hitting the jump shot, he's trying to draw that contract. or that contact. I'm sorry. And this game was close late. I mean, the Clippers consistently, primarily because of Nicholas Batum, after K-Ray said, like, Nicholas Batum, he hasn't hit a shot all night. He's just like, 3, 3, 3. I was like, God damn it. The announcer's curse. But the problem with Dillon Brooks is in a close game that there's like it's a 5-point game on multiple occasions. And he's got to be smarter. He's got to stop giving away these free points. He had that headbutt that turned into a delay game, and there was the second delay game for the Suns, and they gave the Clippers a point in a tight fourth quarter. He's somebody who got a tech the other night in a close game. It was 8 points at the time when Steph Curry was shooting the free throws against the Warriors in that loss, but he got a tech sitting on the sideline. So I like the aggression, but the challenge with Dillon Brooks, and I've talked about this a little bit, but the challenge for him consistently is going to be that edge, and he lives on that edge, and we prefer him on that edge, right? We want him on that wall. We need him on that wall. But at the same time, you have to be smart, because over-aggression at the wrong spots can cost your team points in an important game. And he was straddling that fence, Matthew.
Yeah, he was. And the thing is with him, like, you got to kind of accept it. And it's hard to at times, because I do find myself frustrated already with him returning. Like you said, the headbutt thing was ridiculous. But did anybody notice? I think in the third quarter, he came back into the game, and I swear he still had his warm-ups on, his warm-up shirt. I swear. And this is the one thing that I hate, is like the player close-ups during like the timeouts. I want to see what's going on the court, because there's always dysfunction and shit. But I swear he ran out on the court, and I saw Devin Booker pull on his shirt, like tug it to take it off. And I saw the bench start smiling and laughing. I'm like, I swear he came into the game and he has warm-ups still on. But that's like a Dillon Brooks thing, right? He hits a 3 in some guy's face, goes back on the other end and gives up a 3. Like, it's going to all kind of even out in the end. But his mistakes where he makes and gives up points that are free points, that's going to be huge. He's like the guy that's in the movie that just makes his life harder all the time. And like, we have to feel sorry for him, or the girl in the movie, you know what I mean?
He's
like
like
a stepmom.
He's like,
I didn't mean to.
He's like Ben Stiller in Meet the Parents.
Yes, yeah.
Where it's
It's
like
just
he
every guy
continually
gets-
he's continually a folly of his own ways, and at some point you're just like, okay, man, like what's the next folly? You know, can you milk me, Greg? And a lot of people are saying in the chat, and you're 100% right. Like, you take the good with the bad with Dillon Brooks, and by no means would I not want him on this team at this point, because I think that what he brings is the right edge. But sometimes, man, like in those tight games, you're like, dude, you can't just go like headbutting the ball out of bounds. You know, that's not intensity. That's not trying to get underneath the skin of the opposition. Those are things that we like about him. That's just dumb play, man. He's like, he jumps up. He's like, he looked like a dolphin, you know, like the dolphin in Ace Ventura. It's like, man,
yeah, it's like, you don't think the refs are going to see it?
Yeah.
And that's what drives me crazy. And, you know, he had like the 16 points tonight. Like, he was efficient. He had a big 3 in the fourth quarter. Like, his
that was a big
shot looks like shit. But he hit a couple big 3s, and he's yelling boom. Like, we can get behind him for sure.
I'm all for that. Just don't hit the fucking ball and give them a free point.
And I think as soon as the ball's tipped, he turns into a character, and you just can't tame him. Like, you have to accept it. So I'm thinking, I like the starting lineup tonight with Grayson Allen starting, and then Brooks obviously coming in for Royce O'Neal. But I don't know if Brooks do you think he's a starter or a bench player?
Yes, absolutely he is.
Okay.
Absolutely he is.
Okay.
And he started tonight.
Yeah, he did, but I don't know if he's a starter though. You know, but
we're paying him $22 million. He's a starter. You know,
right.
like, I just feel like, because again, and so that's a good conversation to have, not necessarily on the burn book side, but the starting lineup tonight featured Grayson Allen, as you mentioned. It was Devin Booker, Jalen Green. It doesn't really matter moving forward, because Jalen Green's going to continue to be hurt. But it was Dillon Brooks at the 4 and Mark Williams at the 5.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
yeah. I like that lineup, because it's not starting Ryan Dunn, and it brings Ryan Dunn in as that defender. And again, somebody who's working on developing. I like adding him in. So we do have a little bit more offense to begin. And I know a lot of people are like, well, you don't have a good point of attack defender out there. It's like, well, Dillon Brooks is a point of attack defender. If you look at Basketball Index and you look at his perimeter defense last year, he was in the 95th percentile, an A+ in on-ball perimeter defense. He is a quality point of attack defender. So you don't need him and Ryan Dunn out there, and then you negate your offense. You can start to sprinkle them in with rotations, and I think that's what Jordan has done a good job of. And I mean, I was shocked. And on the that they started Ryan Dunn at the 4, and that the Clippers didn't start John Collins at the 4. That's what was the interesting thing to me, is they chose to go, you know what, we got Ivica Zubac, but we're going to put Derrick Jones Jr. at the 4. So we're not going to take advantage of the fact that the Suns are playing small, even though we could really bully them around. That wasn't their strategy, and ultimately it backfired in their face, because for those who think that we don't have a good point of attack defender out there with a group that includes Jalen Green, Dillon Brooks, Grayson Allen, and who am I missing? Did I say Booker?
Mhm.
Booker. Yeah. Okay. So those 4, essentially a 4 guard lineup, a 4 wing lineup. Dillon Brooks is more than serviceable, and he showcased that tonight.
Yeah, I just don't know, because I like Grayson Allen in the starting lineup, so I don't want him to go to the bench. I just don't. I think he's a better starter, but I think having Brooks there, we're like the 3rd worst team in the rebounding in the league. So that's what I'm thinking of. I'm just like, we just need more help with rebounding, and obviously we're not going to play Come On Malawatch, which was one of my burn book things. It's like also played the 4 minutes, did not work, even though like I even looked up today, like the best defensive lineups we have out there with 20 plus minutes together is with Oso in there. It's like the 6th in the league. It's crazy. I don't know. There's just weird stats with him in there that make the Suns look good with that lineup.
Yeah, but extrapolate that out to like 60 minutes, because like that's what matters at this point.
Well, it's 20 plus minutes, so it's actually rotational players that have been together for 20 plus minutes, and it's something where it looks bad on. Well, his offense is terrible. The defense might be okay. It might be fine, but when it comes to the rebounding and stuff like that, it's like, I'm not sure what we're doing with Kaman still on the bench. Obviously, it's going to take some time, but when you just need some size in there, especially ending I think the 3rd quarter, like where you just maybe can have a bigger lead, you just have a guy out there in Oso. It's just not working. It's like, can you just, the 1st quarter.
Yeah, I was going to say,
put Kaman in there, just grab some boards. Like, you don't have to have Oso in there.
I'm right there with you. I think that the Oso experiment, some of those advanced metrics might look a little better than what we've actually seen. It feels like, at least at the front end of the season, but also got no play in the second half. It was Mark Williams and then Nick Richards, and that's the way I feel like it should be. And I agree with you. When it's instead of giving Oso those 4 minutes in the first half, they should go to this guy.
Oh man, tired adjusting to mine. Come on, Milo, watch
I just want to play the drop. Like,
yeah, it's great. I would love this guy. Did you see his interview he had? And he was talking about Be Happy, that one thing, like the song.
Don't Worry, Be Happy.
Don't Worry, Be Happy was like his favorite song, and he's like talking about watching Hotel Transylvania, and I'm like, oh, he should just come hang out with us, dude, because we watch the same movies over here. Like, the guy's just a kid right now.
He's awesome.
Yeah,
but again, I think that is something that was in my burn book. Again, was the Oso minutes, but I didn't extrapolate on it too much, just because again they dissipated in the second half, and I'm happy for the fact that Jordan Ott said, okay, we tried that out a little bit. Again, not quality minutes for the 409. We were a +1. I mean, only one player in this whole team was a negative today, and that was Nick Richards, funnily enough. Anything else that goes into your burn book, or do you want to start talking about the bright side?
Just a couple quick things. The LA crowd, I didn't mention it in a tweet tonight, where it sounds like they're paid actors. So if they have like the pan wave vision of the whole arena, there are so many empty seats in that thing on a Saturday night playing the Suns. The Suns are 4-5. Now they're 500, which is beautiful. But this team, maybe the fans don't want to go because Kawhi's not playing, but it's ridiculous that there's fans that won't show up to this. Oh, wait, they don't have fans. I think they're all paid. Like I said, I think they're trafficked in there because they do chant LAC, LAC.
Is that what they were chanting?
Yeah, it sounds like a conversation like I would have in like JC Penney's or something. That's like the environment that's there. I don't know. It's just a eerie environment there where everyone's on their phones and shit. So good luck, Clippers, man, getting fans there, because on a Saturday night when it's 7:30 and the Suns are in town and Booker and Jalen Green, you'd think that'd be enough to fill up the stadium.
You think
Nothing.
so?
And it'll still stay in the attendance that they sold out. I don't believe it.
Yeah, you'd think so, but unfortunately, no. And another thing that I want to add to my burn book, just the dumb fucking fouls by the Suns. Like when discombobulation occurs, the Suns get like hand slappy happy. And you saw this in the second quarter when Devin Booker was trying to get some calls and it wasn't going his way, and there was some discombobulation on the offensive end. It was leading to easy points for the Clippers, and the Suns, just kind of in typical fashion, start slapping the shit out of the Clippers. And you look at that third quarter disparity. I mean, the Suns were 7 of 14 from beyond the arc in the second quarter, and the Clippers were 0 of 7. But the Suns were 0 of 0 from the free throw line, while the Clippers were 5 of 9. And that's because the Suns were just fouling them at will. And that's consistently something that is an area of opportunity for this team. And tonight was the first time I felt like they got a little emotional doing it, where they allowed their emotions to dictate how they were playing some defense. And thankfully, the Suns didn't give up the lead at that point. And in fact, Colin Gillespie came in and just kind of, took over in that back end of that second quarter.
Yeah, I think really ending quarters has been a lot better, right? I think the biggest thing was getting down by 20 in the first half by the Suns, but that hasn't happened since. I think it's been 5 games where we've been down by 20 in the first half, but then after the 5 times, it's been 0. You know what I mean? Like, they've actually cleaned that stuff up, and that's what we mentioned before in other pods, where you can see that the Suns have that ability to kind of clean up little things here or there. 20-point leads aren't little things, but deficits aren't little things, but it's something that I feel like the Suns could have done, and they have done that, where they played more consistent throughout the whole game and making sure to play physical throughout the whole game. And it's a team that needs to be better on the defensive side, and they have been. I think it'll start to show in the stats and the advanced rating eventually, because currently they're still one of the worst teams defensively, but you can see it when you're watching
creeping up.
They're creeping up there.
They're creeping up. That sounds like some good things about the Suns.
Tell me the
Right side.
I mean, there's a lot of bright side things to take away from this. I'll start with this, Jamsters. To Matthew's point, this team, the last 5 games been playing, they're 4-1 in their last 5, Matthew. They're 4-1. That includes victories over the Spurs, the Clippers twice, and somebody else. Who am I forgetting? They lost to the Warriors. Oh, the Jazz. That's what started it. Yeah. They beat the Jazz, the Spurs. They lost to the Warriors, and then boom, Clippers twice. This is the first time that they entered the half with a lead on the road this season. This is their first road win of the season. They're now 1-4, and they're 4-1 at home. They're a 500 team, as you mentioned, Matthew. So I'll ask you that question as we go through the list of great things or good things or things to be happy about relative to this game. 10 games in, we looked at this schedule. We saw that it was going to be the Clippers 3 times, Denver once, San Antonio once, Golden State once. Did you think that we would be, after 10 games, 5-5?
I thought we would maybe be over 500.
Oh, really?
Well, because I had a little bit higher expectations for this team. I really did.
I have expectations, but I'm like, that's a brutal start to the season for a team that doesn't know who they are yet, trying to figure out who they are. I thought 4-6 would be the peak of what they could be. I thought realistically we'd probably be 3-7.
Well, I think if you asked me over the first 4 games, then I definitely thought that they would have a hard time making it to 500. But I think for me, I'm just being very optimistic about this team. But it is weird watching the game, because you can kind of see, like, you get mad at podcasts for saying they just suck, but you do see them kind of building up to an actual team. And Jordan Knott said it after last game in the post-game press conference, where they had to kind of tear these teams down one by one, and they're eventually going to stack the wins, and they have been. It's just like they're taking little steps here and there, and they know how to, like, kind of shore up on the bad side of the ball that they're having a hard time with. But they've been making the right plays off and on, where they're making the bad plays. They kind of shore it up in the next game. Like, you don't see the repeat offense over and over again.
Yeah, from a trend standpoint, I think that's, very it's just different. It's not what we're used to seeing, because I feel like the past couple of years, everything kind of extrapolated upon itself. And if there was something that you'd see that was a flaw in the team, the next time you'd see it, you're like, oh, cool, they didn't correct that. And we've talked about how Jordan Knott has had the ability to adjust in game and adjust game to game. And this was why this was a very impressive win, in my opinion. You went on the road again, winning your first game on the road, but you also did it against a team that you just saw 2 nights ago that has Ty Lue, who's considered a quality adjuster and tactician, and you were able to outmaneuver them and out-execute them pretty much from the jump. I mean, the Suns' total time for the Clippers leading in this game, what was it? Time leading 17 seconds. Oh, no, that was just in the second quarter. I think that was the whole game, though. 17 seconds.
Yeah.
They led for 17 seconds. Their largest lead was 42-41. That's it. The Suns led the rest of this game. So this isn't, again, we're starting to see a team that, to your point earlier, isn't getting down big early, which is so big for this team. But this is the second consecutive win in which they've had to hold off a team that has some offensive firepower. Granted, the team that we played in Phoenix on Thursday wasn't nearly as talented because there was no Harden, but they're holding those teams off. And that's what's key, because it felt like in the loss to the Jazz, in the loss to Memphis, that this is a team that we felt like, man, they're going to have to learn how to win. And they're starting to learn how to win. And to me, it's shocking. I did not expect them to gel this fast. You look at all of the things that are challenges with how this roster is constructed, right? There's no true point guard. There's no true distributor. Devin Booker's a top 10 guy in the league relative to points off assists generated, but he's only played, per Basketball Reference, the point guard position 4% of the time. That's kind of an anomaly. There's a lot of anomalies. Dillon Brooks is your starting power forward in this game, yet you pull it out. Jalen Green gets injured in this game, yet you're resilient enough to not let that emotional blow, which all those guys were feeling when they saw him go back to the locker room and he was waiting for them at halftime. You know that they're feeling for him, but they didn't allow that to distract them from the mission at hand. They stayed focused. They stayed intense. Dillon Brooks continued to bounce balls off of his head and get as far into James Harden's shorts as he could. And ultimately, it equated to just another quality win for this team.
And if you look at the standings too out west, like a lot of the teams are threatening, right? The Spurs are 7-2, but we just defeated them. And I don't think a lot of credit goes to the Suns. And I'm not saying they figured out how to stop Wemby, but that was really the beginning of Wemby having troubles. Because ever since then, teams are doing exactly what the Suns did, where they're throwing the doubles at him quick, up high, just going to him defensively.
Push him out of the paint.
That's the IQ of the Suns right now. We have a few players in at times I don't know, Richards, who just looks like a little lost out there. The IQ is a little low, but overall, like the coaching staff, what Ott's been doing, it's always been just the high IQ, what they can do to the matchup beforehand, like how much I feel like he's putting into studying in the film and just figuring out things ahead of time to where this team's more comfortable out there. Like when they're actually going to have to face something like a Jalen Green injury where he's feeling himself in the second, and it's just over. I mean, the first quarter, it's just over that quickly. But then having to kind of regroup at halftime and come out and just dismantle the Clippers. And the Clippers are a team that, I know they don't have Kawhi, but they're a team that everyone thought they were stacked. They have a great roster. It's a full roster. Throw them out there against the Suns. The Suns are just more competitive. They want it more than any other team out there right now. And that's what's going to kind of push them further and further up the standings if they can keep this up.
I completely agree. Again, it's a team that we knew would have the personality that would annoy and be pesky and we know what that's like because, again, in recent history, we've gone against teams that are built like the Suns currently are, and they would beat us. And we're like, we have more talent than this team. Why are they beating us? It's like because they play as a unit, they play competitive, they don't stop coming at you like zombies. Right? Like it's the Walking Dead Suns. And again, to credit Jordan Ott for the way that he has coached this team is, it earns a drop.
He's Jordan Ott, the best coach Sparty money has bought. Yes, he's Jordan Ott.
That one's for you, Boyd. Hope your kids listen to that one. One of our listeners, hears that one in the car and starts singing it all day. I'm like, mission accomplished. But what Jordan Ott has done, you got to remember, he's one of those guys who comes from the back video rooms, right? He knows how to break down film and make adjustments based on what he said, or at least effectively communicate. Because in the past, that's what he had to do, coming up through the Hawks organization. Be like, hey, here's what I see, assistant coach. Take this for what it's worth. And now he's the guy kind of holding. He has his own video coordinators, but he knows how to break down film and he knows how to effectively communicate it to the team. And then those are things that they can specifically work on. Whereas Boone, Coach Bud Light, he could barely see the screen that he was looking at, So I think that, again, the tactician that he is, his adjustments in game and game to game have been very valuable. You couple that with a young team that is willing to absorb and be coached. And that's what's so valuable, right? To be coached. because Bradley Beal last year, I mean, he said it after the game in Phoenix 2 nights ago. He was frustrated. He's like, he had the infamous quote, when's the last time I shot 14 shots in Phoenix? And, when they're asking me to do this, that's not the best use of me. It's like, yeah, that's when you're starting to think about yourself instead of what the team is and what the team needs of you. Whereas this team, they're focused on the we, not the me. And that's why you're seeing a run of success that we've been experiencing all year, but now it's equating to wins.
What is the thing with Bradley Beal too? Where I keep hearing little leaks here and there. It's like he was the issue. It's like, where was this before? Like we attacked Kevin Durant, obviously, and Kevin Durant's the guy that was just playing his game. But it seemed like Beal, even now, like with the Clippers, he's the guy that won't let go of the starting job. Klay Thompson had to do it over there with Dallas, and it's been brutal for him. But with the Clippers running Beal out there starting and playing that many minutes, that's helping other teams go on runs. Like defensively, Beal's one of the worst guys in the league with how many minutes he's playing.
Just like last year.
Yeah. And just go back on the best thing about this team is knowing like, hey, we're going to play the Hawks later. The Hawks have been a little bit better as of late, but we're going to be playing like the Blazers, but even the Pacers coming up and the Mavericks who have struggled. They're never going to take games off. They're always going to know that we have to take advantage of every team quickly within the first few minutes of the game, like Dillon Brooks does with his full court pressure, but just start from the tip. And they're going to be doing this. We're not going to take any nights off. The Suns are not going to take any nights off. They're going to make sure that they can get any win they can without Jalen Green in the starting lineup. And I you know what I mean? Like that's why I go into each game. I'm just expecting the best from this team. And that's what they're giving us right now.
Yeah. Night in and night out. And, and there's certain members of the team who are stepping up and when called upon in my bright side book, if you will.
Yeah. Mark Williams is a bad man. Yeah. Ripping rebounds, blocking shots, playing like a madman. Yeah. Crowd go wild when he raised that hand. Pain in the paint, that's the master plan. Bad man.
19 points for Mark Williams tonight on 7 of 9 shooting. He had 6 rebounds, only 6 rebounds, but understandable when you're playing against somebody like Ivica Zubac. A couple steals as well, and some key buckets. Again, making himself available in transition on multiple occasions. The Dillon Brooks pass to him in transition for a dunk. The pass that Devin Booker had to him where he just caught it in the air and threw it up behind him because he knew if he brought it down, Ivica Zubac would be there. So he played with a level of cerebralness that I appreciate. And to see him, again, show up and show out, Landon Albertson says this in the chat. He goes, can we talk about Mark Williams' post defense? He's got good parts to his game, but I feel like he consistently gets cooked on 1v1 post-ups. The thing I'll say to that and my observations is, Landon right there isn't completely wrong. I do feel like one-on-one defense, he does have some deficiencies, but I will also note that like Ivica Zubac, who he's played against the last 2 games, was an all-NBA center last season, and he's played against Jokic. So I think that it depends on the matchup, like any center in the league. But he was clearly outmatched, but he still held his ground, especially on the offensive end. And I like what I see from Mark Williams. I haven't felt this excited about a starting center in Phoenix in a long, long time.
Yeah, I'm super excited. And the more he is playing with these guys, he's going to get better because he tries to find himself open a lot of times and is kind of working and moving down in the paint. And, watching Devin Booker kind of manipulate the defense there in the fourth quarter where he was finding guys kind of like James Harden, where you look at James Harden, you're like, shit, like, wish we had a guy that can pass like that. Well, Booker was doing that because he knows he has a guy like Mark Williams down there. And the only thing is the lobs are not there yet. But I do think that when Mark Williams continues to play with these guys, they're going to know where to find them. And he's always going to be explosive under the rim at times, and he's going to give it his all. So he is smaller than a lot of these guys, obviously, but he's going to give it his all to where he's going to have the offensive or the defensive rebounding help from the whole team. So that's going to be one thing that everyone has to continue to do around him. He's not going to be the best rebounder, but offensively, he's going to be incredible at times, and he's going to get us out of funk because he's going to find himself in the right spot at the right time to end games. And I love it that we can have him in the ending of the game and like the better lineups too out there statistically, and he's been healthy. Like it's been great, man. I know DeAndre Ayton too is over there in LA looking good and stuff. You know what I mean? He's put up good stats. I'm just throwing him out there because he puts up good stats quickly. Mark Williams like doesn't put up the best stats, but you get like the most effort all game long, and him holding himself accountable all game long, which is exactly what we need with this team.
And I love his hands because you throw him the ball and he's going to
Yeah.
catch it, except for the one when it was kind of like, I forget who threw him the pass, but I think it was Royce O'Neal, but it was a little bit behind him. And if he had just, he looked because he saw he was going to have a wide open dunk late in the game and he didn't catch it. But outside of that, like he's got really good hands. Who else you got to talk about relative to the bright side?
I think that third quarter was really a bright side. I think the Suns, I mean, they were 0 for whatever for 3. They didn't make any threes in that, but it was more of like the refs kind of like managing the game. Booker wasn't getting much calls. He had that technical on the flop, and I've never seen that, but I feel like that's never happened except for the Suns, because I remember this happened like last year.
Happened a few times last year. I forget who did it. Somebody on like the Blazers or something always used to flop against us.
Yeah, but it rarely happens. So it happened. But the thing is, why it's my bright side is it didn't really motherfuck the Suns, or where they were going after the refs, and Booker didn't get thrown out of the game because of getting another technical. Like, they held their composure. It was still a 5-point game at that time, but they didn't get to they were 9 of 11 from the free throw line. But also, like in the third quarter, like usually you would think like they would kind of take the lead and hit some threes and stuff, but they couldn't make anything. So I think really just kind of maintaining the lead, making sure that they weren't actually chucking up shots that were ugly, but getting to the rim, getting to the free throw line, like that was nice. Even though they were having a hard time with the refs at times, they still won the free throw battle in the third quarter.
Yeah.
But that was really the difference in the game, just maintaining that lead and just being composed the whole time.
Yeah, it was tough there. I mean, the Suns were outscored 34-25 in that third quarter, as you mentioned, 0 of 6 from beyond the arc. But the fact that they continually attacked the cylinder, at least they could garner some of those points. So again, that's the cerebral approach, rather than crumbling cerebrally and completely losing the lead in a game in a quarter in which you were outscored by 9 points. That was key. Another bright side for me.
Let me tell you a little story about a guy who shoots threes. Everyone hates him because he's a dookie. He's pretty underrated if you're asking me. His name is Grayson Allen.
Grayson Allen was huge again in this game. The Suns couldn't, as we mentioned, hit a three-pointer to save their lives in the third quarter. The fourth quarter opens up, and Grayson Allen goes 3 of 4 from beyond the arc. 10 minutes played, 9 points. He was a team best plus 12 in that fourth quarter. He's the one who really steadied the offensive scoring for the Suns and brought it, he's the one who held the Clippers at bay. And, it's one of those things. I wrote a piece about this for Brightside, but do we appreciate him enough?
I don't think so. And just really quick, the real reason for me is just because it's like, do you picture him on like a playoff team as a starter or a championship team? I can see it because he has to be a starter in order to be the real Grayson Allen we want. So I think he's not yet, just like him and Royce are not. But this is like their breaking through year where I feel like they show a lot more than what people have been giving them.
But like with Grayson Allen, 2 years ago, he starts 74 of his 75 games played. He leads the league with 46.1% from beyond the arc. And I still don't feel like we appreciate him enough. Like you go back and you look at the history of Phoenix Suns and you go, oh, Lou Amundsen, Leandro Barbosa, Javon Carter. Like there's guys that you just from an affinity standpoint fall in love with because of the contributions they give to the team. Grayson Allen just kind of consistently just does it. He gets the job done. He's shooting over 40% from beyond the arc this season on 9 3-point attempts. This is his longest tenure with any team. So it's not like, well, I feel like he's more of a Buck or a member of the Jazz. It's like, no, he's been with the Suns longer than anybody. I just feel like we don't give him enough credit. I feel like because of the contract that he's currently making, 16 and some change $1 million, that everybody looks at Grayson and like, yeah, we should trade him. And I'm like he's a steadying force. He's the guy who, when the ship was being tossed about like it's on the voyage of the Mimi tonight, he's the one who was able to steady the ship and allow this team to stabilize and hold off the Clippers for a victory. And yet I just feel like he doesn't get the recognition he deserves consistently.
Well, I love him. I absolutely do. Because he hit big threes there in the fourth quarter and he got drilled underneath the rim. He got brought down to the ground like a sack of rocks, dude. No free throws it was no foul. And he again kept his composure like the rest of the team, went to talk to the ref. But after that, dude, I feel like he feels like he's disrespected. And you can tell the way he plays to end the games. And he's in the game at the end with the starting lineup. he's one of those crucial players you need in clutch time. And I just think as a starter, it has to continue, man. His percentages too, field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, free throw percentage, all of that is just so much better when he's starting. Last year, he'd only start the 7 games, but we had the Bradley Beal thing, so he was in and out. But just stay consistent with it. That's why I was really excited why Royce was taken out, because Royce can come in and hit threes. And he was playing great defense. But when you have, like he said, Dillon Brooks in there who can play great defense too, like just kind of evens them out a little bit. So you still need the shooter on Grayson Allen, and he's been consistent with that all year.
Ever since he joined the Phoenix Suns, which was over. He's the second longest tenured Phoenix Sun behind Devin Booker. All right, any other bright side you need to tell me about? What you got?
Let me see here. I think Booker, I mean, the first half where he had the 7 assists and 13 points was incredible, but Booker just finding his guys, like I feel like I do get kind of lost in other teams' guards, like James Harden tonight, where I'm like, damn, he can really find guys in the paint, just like really look the other way, and the defense goes that way, then he just throws the ball the other way. Like Booker was doing that. Like after I was thinking, I'm like, okay, shit, dude, like this guy's really just killing it passing wise. Like he's just being the guy at times when we need him to be, and that was just big for me tonight. I felt like.
Yeah, Devin Booker in this game ends with nothing crazy relative to total points, right? He only ends with 21 points, but he is one of 6 players in double figures, 10 total rebounds, 9 assists, so close to a triple double. Still hasn't have that regular season triple double. Didn't get there. Had the 5 turnovers, and he had some, especially in the fourth quarter. He had a couple times when he threw the ball away that I wasn't super excited about, but. Ultimately, a solid all-around Devin Booker game because he helps this team get a win.
Yeah. Good.
The Suns Jam Session subreddit stakeout.
Where is she? Tell me where she is. Well, I was at the Intuit Dome tonight monitoring the subreddit for the opposing team. The Los Angeles Clippers, up on the wall. And do you know what they kept asking me, Matthew?
Are you a paid actor?
They go, clearly you're a paid actor, but is the subreddit stakeout brought to you by NettlesAir.com?
I go, absolutely. Actually, it is. That's very observational of you. So, but here's a few things that the Los Angeles Clippers fans were stating on the Clippers subreddit this evening.
Maybe it's just me, but playing the same team 3 times in a week is boring.
Yes,
it is. Like
it sucked.
Yeah, not a huge fan.
I hate it. Mix it up, dudes.
Of having to play the Clippers 3 times. I don't know when the next time we play him is, but I'm glad.
Trade Beal for a bag of chips.
Wait, really quick. Would you be surprised if you woke up and you're just like, oh, the Clippers are waiving Bradley Beal?
Not at all.
He is that bad. He's
not
terrible. Sorry. I love you, Bradley.
He is. I don't. You
so
love Bradley Beal?
No, I don't. I say I love you a lot. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. Well, man, that's some depressing ass shit right there. He ended 4 of 9 from the field. He had 12 points. He had that span where he scored like 8 consecutive points for the team. But outside of that, man, like it started right at the beginning of the game as the subreddit for the Clippers noted, Beal got the Russ layup package right now.
I don't miss those layups.
Yeah, he missed a wide open layup.
Yeah, they let him go and he missed it.
Beal gave away a wide open shot, then missed a wide open layup. Get that man out of here.
Here's an interesting observation.
Suns have 3-point shooters, unlike the Clippers.
When you have Jordan Goodwin and Colin Gillespie knocking down threes, it has people like they ask this question:
who is number 12 on the Suns?
And then did they think he worked at the car wash down the street?
Probably. They're like, is that a gypsy? Is that a traveling gypsy?
Gypsy. He is a gypsy.
Just call Colin Clipper Killer Gillespie going forward. Didn't he kill us last year and steal a game? He's got all the confidence in the world against our ancient slow rotation team. I've seen enough. Send the whole team to China. God, I hate myself for watching the ESPN broadcast on this. Doris Burke is unbearable. Derek Jones Jr. Derek Jones Jr. got off arm elbowed in his sack, and he might not have kids again. Doors thinks it's a defensive foul. Never liked Book one bit.
Did you watch on ESPN?
No, I watched it on the Arizona Sports.
I still don't have ESPN, so I'll just not have
there
it.
you go.
I didn't watch the Cowboys Cardinals because I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm not
Oh.
buying another app.
Yeah,
So.
go Cardinals. I'm still not. Bye, Kyler. And so this is clearly a Suns fan who comes into the Clippers subreddit, not even coming to talk shit. But this Clippers team looks exactly how the Suns did last season. Old, bad body language, hero ball late in games, finger pointing, and Bradley Beal. And that, ladies and jamsters, is the subreddit Stakeout.
The Suns Jam Session subreddit Stakeout.
Brought to you by Nettleair.com.
And the Rockets, man. Did you watch the Spurs Rockets game?
I watched the first quarter.
Okay, yeah. The end of the game was just like the Suns games, where there was a lot of standing around, just moving like ISO ball, and it was bad.
But that's what's interesting is you watch the Clippers, as you watch aspects of the Rockets with Kevin Durant, like you're reminded of some of the clogs that we had on this team last year that you and I would annotate and observe, and some people would get really upset. KD stands, and that one Bradley Beal stand that's out there somewhere, you know. And where is Maya B?
That was Kevin Durant. I swear to God, it was. I swear to God.
But what you're seeing with this team now, again, is just a lot more fluidity, and for that, you know, like I appreciate that. So let's go ahead and hand out some hardware wherever the fucking drop is.
Jam Star of the Game.
Jamsters, there's 646 of you watching along live right now. So thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting the show. Thank you for listening words that come out of my mouth and Matthew's mouth as well. If you want to support the show, head over to our YouTube page, which is youtube.com/@SunsJam, and subscribe or hit a thumbs up on this video. You know, help with the algorithms and let people know where you watch your Phoenix Suns content. If you're listening to this podcast, please leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. We'll read it right here on the podcast. Checking just real quick, Matthew, to see if there's anybody who's left a review since like June. Nobody. So who are you giving the jam star to in this one, man? There's a lot of interesting names in here because no one really went nuclear.
Yeah, no one really did. That's what I liked. I liked the box score, and I'm like, hold on, is this actually updated? Because I thought it was from like the second quarter, because no one had 20 points. But I'm gonna give it to Jalen Green. No, I'm just kidding. That was too soon. Sorry, Jalen Green.
Dude.
Love you out there. Just it doesn't mean anything though, right? To love you. I'm gonna give it to Booker, and the reason is, I know I always say like he plays within the offense, like he's blends in with the team, but I just feel like this is really his team now. I know he's our best player, but when I talk about like a number one, like he's the best number one on this team. Like I want to say, and people are going to hate me, but remember the Detroit Pistons team with like Chauncey Billups and stuff, like nothing crazy. They went to the finals, obviously, and almost beat the Lakers, but
they did
beat the Lakers. My bad. He just reminds me of like that guy on this kind of team where it's like nothing crazy, nothing that statistically the best. Well, actually, statistics are great.
He's
but
been amazing.
Team wise, like it doesn't seem like really like any other guys are kind of feeding into the media. Like the media's not talking about anybody. It's what they remind me of, kind of in a way, just because it's very subtle. And I think the way that he's handling himself this season is that statistics are great. One of his best years ever. I think this is his team now. He might be our actual number one, which is crazy.
Well, he absolutely is our number one. I think that this year he is showcasing that he can be a Batman after us doubting if he could ever do that last year, at least me. I said he could be the best Robin in the league consistently, but I don't know if he had the ability to be a Batman. He's been a Batman this year, but he's not going to get my jam star. I give it to Grayson Allen. I really do. I think that, again, that stretch at the beginning of the fourth quarter when it got down to 5 points, and it got down to 5 points multiple times throughout that fourth quarter. But him hitting those threes was absolutely those were daggers being thrown at the Clippers. And I appreciate, again, what he's doing and how he's doing it. He's getting destroyed down low, and he's not getting calls, but he still gets up. He's playing sick. He's playing ill, and he's still doing it. So I appreciate and I give Grayson Allen the jam star of the game. All right, Matthew, up next, it's going to be Monday night. We play the Pelicans, right?
Yeah.
The New Orleans Pelicans, a team that's 2-7, a team that started 0-6, but is 2-1 in their last 2 or 3 games. What are you thinking as we host the Pelicans, one of the worst teams in the NBA on Monday?
Yeah, and just completely injured too. I just think it's going to be a blowout. Like I said, the Suns don't take light to anybody, and they're just going to come in and kind of dismantle them. I don't think the Pelicans are ever going to be good with what they have right now. I don't know how they trade away with any of these players right now. Who's going to take Zion? Like, what's his trade value? But looking into the game, I just think that the Suns might have size. I mean, Messi might be out. He was out this last game, so he might be out too. So if they can play big, I think they're going to really just kind of take this one home, because obviously we had the shooting and everything else. And I think there's been more games where we hit 15+ threes than we haven't. So it's just going to be one of those things where when you're watching this team play a Pelicans team that is just in disarray, it's going to be bad. And then the next day, there might be some firings. There might be some trades or something that's going to happen with this Pelicans team, because it's got to happen. I think like I said, the Hawks started out really slow this year, but they got it together. I just don't see the Pelicans ever getting back together. And I don't know, man. Like, what is it? The jerseys? Is it the place they play at? Like, what is it that I feel like they have worse luck than the Phoenix Suns, because they are having a hard time every year.
Yeah, it's
ever since Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis, even back then, he was a class
barely.
man.
What did they win? 1 first-round matchups, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. But all I'll say is this is going to be a key game for Phoenix. I really believe so, because this is one of those few times thus far this season. We had it a couple times against the Jazz, and the Jazz came out and jumped us for 20 points, and we fought back. We got it to overtime. We lost. Second time we played the Jazz, we came out dominant, and we won that game easily. This is one of those games where you take a look at the opposing injury report. As you mentioned, there's going to be no Zion in this game. There's going to be a lot of players. I mean, Herb Jones went for like 41 tonight. That's who they're relying on offensively. So this is going to be one of those teams and one of those games that you're going to enter knowing that you're favored. How do you respond? How do you take care of business? Because last season, this is a game that we had no idea what was going to happen, because we knew that this team, as I would consistently say right here on this podcast, they were mentally weak. This is a team that's mentally strong. So let's see them go out there and take care of business. Are there going to be peaks and valleys to the game? Yes, there's always peaks and valleys to every game. This is a game they should walk away with a victory. That's the hope. That's the plan. We'll see if that happens on Monday night.
Yeah, I think they definitely do. It's crazy, man. If they were like a 6 seed after 2 weeks, it's something people are going to start talking about. So it's going to be fun.
It'll be
even
fun.
Without Jalen Green.
We'll see. Well, we appreciate everybody for hanging out. There's 666 people watching right now, 666 across the board. So
good way to end it.
Appreciate. Matthew says he loves you. He doesn't mean it. But we appreciate everyone again for hanging out and with us on this late Suns Jam. It's now officially Sunday morning. It's 12:01 a.m. as we wrap up the show. But thank you for hanging out. Hit that thumbs up button, and we'll see you live on Monday night. Matthew, tell them what to do.
Yeah, go home and don't really love your family. Wow.
Hey, you're listening to the Suns Jam Session podcast, shooting the shit about the Suns since 2019.